In the previous lessons, we have learned about Node. We have also seen how Node can be used to set up a web server. Now, the Node designers intentionally kept Node small with a small number of core modules so that they can leave it up to third-party developers to come up with innovative solutions to problems. So once Node was released, a number of third-party developers started designing and releasing interesting third-party modules that can run on top of the Node platform. Now, you have seen a number of Node modules that could be used for front-end development in the previous courses. Now, in this course, we are looking at server-side development. And on the server side, one of the most popular third-party Node modules or frameworks for building HTTP servers is Express. Let's look at some details of Express in this lecture, and then we will make use of Express to build a server that serves up REST API throughout the rest of this course. First, what is Express? Express is a fast, unopinionated, minimalist framework that runs on top of Node.js and supports web development. This is the definition that I borrowed from expressjs.com, the site where Express-related documentation is available for us. Now, Express allows you to develop a web application, server-side application that will serve up content for consumption by our front end. And Express provides a robust set of features which we will explore in more detail through the rest of the lessons in this course. Express itself, as I said, is a minimalist framework, and Express also provides a way of extending and adding functionality to Express through third-party middleware. This extends the functionality of Express and adds in more features as required. So you can build your web server using just as many third-party middleware as required for meeting the needs of your web server that you are designing. We'll look at some examples of third-party middleware in this lesson, and we will also explore more of these as we go through the rest of the lessons in this course. To use Express in your project, of course, the first step is to install Express. And since Express is a Node module, we install it by saying npm install express -- safe. And this would install Express into your local project. We will see the use of this in the exercise that follows this lecture. Let's briefly talk about the Express middleware. So what exactly is the purpose of middleware? The middleware that Express supports provide a lot of plugin functionality that would be used to enhance your Express application. Plugin functionality, like for example, we will look at a middleware called Morgan, which allows you to print out log information to the screen about the requests that come into your server. Similarly, we'll look at another middleware called Body Parser, which allows you to parse the body of the incoming HTTP request message and extract information from it for use within your Express application. We'll see the use of these in the exercise that follows. As I mentioned, Morgan does logging of information to the console on the server side, information about the incoming requests. Similarly, we can serve up static web resources from our server using the Express static. So this will serve up information from a folder within our Express project. And in declaring the project, you can say _file name and _directory name or dir name, which gives you the full path for the file or the directory for the current module. And you will see me using that in the exercise. Now that we have understood a little bit about Express and the middleware that Express uses, let's look at a Node module because this is the first time we are encountering a third-party node module, we'll look at some details about the third-party node module. So we'll examine the package.json file to see what is contained in the package.json file. We'll also look at semantic versioning. So when you specify the version of the package that you use, you always specify the version by specifying the major version dot minor version dot the patch. So when you install a package, it is always identified by these three numbers. Major version, which might introduce breaking changes. So which means that if you are installing a newer version of a package, it may not be completely backward compatible with the previous version. It may introduce breaking changes whereby you may need to go back and fix the code that you might have written in the earlier version of your project. The minor version introduces some minor changes to your package and may not be breaking changes. A patch would be a bug fix that is often issued when a small bug is discovered. So patches usually do not lead to any breaking changes, and so you can easily use a higher version, higher patch version of a particular package that you're using within your Node application. When you are installing a package, you can specify the exact version of the package to install by saying npm install. For example, if you want to install the 4.0.0 version of Express, you can say express at 4.0.0. So you're explicitly specifying which version of the package to install. If you are okay with a higher level patch version, you would say npm install express at tilde 4.0.0. If a minor version, higher version of a package is acceptable, then you would say hat and the name of the package. Now this kind of information is also saved in the package.json file. We'll quickly pay a visit to the package.json file where you would notice some of this information being saved. Now when you do the exercise that follows this lecture, you will see this in the package.json file. This will be the result of completing the exercise that follows this lecture. In the exercise, we will construct a simple web server using Express. Now, let me take you through a quick tour of package.json to illustrate some information in package.json. So in package.json file, you notice this information here, this property for our JSON that is stored here called dependencies. The dependencies is where you will specify which additional third-party modules on which this particular node project is dependent upon. So as you can see here, we are saying that this project is dependent upon Express and Morgan. And note in particular how this information is specified here. So this says hat 4.16.3, meaning that this will work with any version that is 4.16.3 or higher. You can use a higher level minor version and this project will still be okay with it. And similarly for Morgan, we have specified the information here. So this additional information is added into the package.json file whenever you do npm install and say -- save flag for the npm install. Now, also, you will notice that I have created a .gitignore file here. And inside the .gitignore file, I have specified that Git should ignore the node modules folder. So what exactly is contained in the node modules folder? If you install third-party modules into your node application, all these third-party modules will be saved in the node modules folder here. So within your project, you will see that the node modules folder has been created here. And taking a look at the node modules folder, you will see a whole bunch of packages that have been installed. Now, all these have been installed because you installed Express, and Express in turn depends upon some other packages that are required. So all those also get installed here by default. In particular, let me also draw your attention to the Express package here. So if you go into the Express package, you will see additional information being stored in the Express package. So in the Express package also, since Express itself is a node module, you will see a package.json file inside Express also, which contains additional information, which of course is very detailed there and difficult for us to understand. But note in particular that Express itself is dependent upon many other node modules here, and that's the reason why all these other node modules also have been installed into the node modules folder. So when you install Express, this will immediately also trigger all its dependencies also to be installed, because Express will require these other node modules for it to do its work. And also within Express also you see the index.js file. So this is the starting point for our Express node module itself. And note in particular that the index.js file simply says module exports require lib Express. So the actual code for the Express module itself is inside this lib project, a lib folder here, and you can see the details. So if you are curious to see the details of Express itself, you can go and look in there. But again, this may be a bit too much for you at this moment. For the moment, just accept the fact that Express will do its work as expected. But I thought that it'll be an interesting experience to visit the node modules folder to look at a structure of one particular third-party node module in a bit more detail. Also, you will notice that there is another file here called package.lock.json that is installed. Now, this is being installed by the newer versions of NPM. The package.lock.json file is automatically generated by NPM, which stores information about the exact tree that was generated when you installed other node modules. And this is very useful when you need to do a installation of the node modules at another location. So for example, if you download a Git repository and try to recreate this project on another computer, you would simply type npm install at the prompt, and that will prompt your node application to automatically install everything that is specified in the dependencies here for you. And so while creating that, the package.log.json stores additional information that is used by npm to do the correct installation of all the npm modules that are required. Now, for the moment, you don't need to worry about the details of what is there inside the package.lock.json file. With this, we complete this lesson where we have examined some details about Express.